The 10 Pieces of Advice from Solomon to Build Wealth Faster. Introduction. What if you could sit down with the wisest man in history and ask just one question? How can I prosper? Imagine receiving an answer from someone who lived more than 3,000 years ago, yet whose teachings remain more relevant than many of the promises we see on social media today. Solomon was not just a king. He became a symbol of wisdom, wealth, and discernment. His reputation crossed continents. Rulers traveled great distances just to hear his advice. And perhaps the most remarkable thing is that his teachings survived the test of time. Empires disappeared. Currencies lost their value. Technology changed the world. But the principles of prosperity remained exactly the same. Today, many people spend years searching for shortcuts, looking for magical formulas, trying to uncover the hidden secret that will finally change their lives. But Solomon taught something different. He believed that true prosperity is built on simple principles. Principles that anyone can apply. Principles that do not depend on luck. Do not depend on inheritance. Do not depend on being in the right place at the right time. In this video, you will discover 10 powerful lessons that can transform your relationship with money, work, discipline, and success. Some of them you may have heard before. But don't be fooled. The greatest changes in life often happen when we finally take seriously the things we have always ignored. And stay until the end. Because the final lesson is perhaps the most important of them all. It reveals something that many people spend their entire lives pursuing without ever truly understanding. Let's begin. Advice number 1. Master your mind before you try to master money. There is a reason why so many people make money and then lose it. There is a reason why some opportunities appear and disappear without producing results. And there is a reason why so many people keep repeating the same mistakes. That reason lies in the mind. Solomon understood a truth that most people discover far too late. Before you learn to manage money, you must learn to manage yourself. Think about it for a moment. How many bad decisions are made on impulse? An unnecessary purchase. A debt taken on without a plan. An opportunity accepted purely because of the excitement of the moment. An investment made out of anxiety. Most of the time, the problem is not a lack of intelligence. It is a lack of self-control. That is why Solomon wrote, "The simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps." Proverbs 14 verse 15. This is one of the most defining characteristics of wise people. They do not react immediately. They observe. They reflect. They evaluate the consequences. While most people act based on the emotions of the moment, the prudent person thinks about the impact that decision will have a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. And that is exactly what creates different results. Life rarely changes because of a single massive decision. It changes because of small choices repeated every day. Every purchase, every conversation, every opportunity, every decision. Each one is building a future that you cannot yet see. That is why mastering your own mind is so important. Those who cannot control their impulses eventually become controlled by them. And people who are controlled by their impulses rarely build lasting wealth. Solomon knew that prosperity does not begin in your wallet. It begins in the way you think. It begins in the way you make decisions. It begins in the way you respond to circumstances. Before you try to multiply your money, learn to multiply your wisdom. Because a disorganized mind can destroy in a few months what took years to build. But a disciplined mind can turn ordinary opportunities into extraordinary results. And perhaps that is exactly why true wealth begins long before it appears in a bank account. It begins within you. Advice number 2. Learn to save before you spend. There is a lie that many people believe for their entire lives. The idea that becoming wealthy depends only on earning more money. But notice something interesting. There are people who earn very little and still manage to build wealth. And there are people who earn a lot and remain trapped in debt. Because wealth is not determined only by how much comes in. It is also determined by how much stays. Solomon understood this perfectly. That is why he wrote, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." Proverbs 21 verse 20. Notice the difference. The wise preserve. The foolish consume. Today, we are constantly encouraged to spend. A better car. A new phone. More status. More appearances. More comparison. But true prosperity is not built by what you show. It is built by what you keep. Every time you spend less than you earn, you create a small advantage for your future. And when that advantage is repeated month after month, year after year, it eventually becomes freedom. The problem is that most people want to look rich, while those who become truly prosperous focus on becoming rich. And there is a massive difference between those two things. Advice number 3, trade motivation for discipline. Motivation is wonderful, but it has one problem. It disappears. Some days you wake up feeling inspired. Other days you don't. Some days you're full of energy. Other days you feel like giving up. Those who rely exclusively on motivation live on an emotional roller coaster. Those who learn to live by discipline build results. Solomon wrote, "The sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied." Proverbs 13 verse 4. Notice something important. The lazy person desires too. They dream too. They want to succeed too. The problem was never a lack of dreams. The problem is a lack of action. Many people spend years imagining the life they would like to have. Yet they continue postponing the actions necessary to build it. Discipline makes you act when you don't feel like it. It keeps you going when no one is watching. It pushes you forward when the results have not yet appeared. And that is exactly why it is more valuable than motivation. Because motivation can start a journey, but only discipline can finish it. Advice number 4, choose your company wisely. Few things influence your future as much as the people around you. You may not realize it, but slowly, we begin to think like those we spend time with. We speak like them. We act like them. We adopt their beliefs. We absorb their habits. That is why Solomon wrote, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." Proverbs 13 verse 20. This truth is just as powerful today as it was thousands of years ago. If you spend all your time surrounded by negative people, you will eventually start seeing the world through their lens. If you surround yourself with complacent people, complacency will begin to feel normal. But when you draw close to people who are disciplined, responsible, and committed to growth, something changes. Your vision expands. Your standards rise. Your expectations transform. No one can truly grow in an environment that constantly pulls them downward. So pay close attention to who is influencing your mind, because your future is being shaped by the voices you listen to every single day. Advice number 5, work with excellence. Most people look for opportunities. Very few look for excellence. And that difference changes everything. Solomon wrote, "Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings." Proverbs 22 verse 29. What makes someone stand out? It is not just talent. It is not just luck. It is the decision to do your work well. In a world where many people deliver the bare minimum, those who pursue excellence naturally attract attention. Excellence creates value, and value generates rewards. When you become truly good at something, opportunities begin to seek you out. Not because the world is fair, but because competence will always be rare. And anything rare tends to be valued. Ask yourself, am I merely filling my time? Or am I developing skills that will make me indispensable? The answer to that question could completely change the course of your life. Advice number 6, learn to think long-term. Human beings are naturally drawn to quick rewards. We like immediate results, instant gratification, the payoff right now. But wealth rarely works that way. Solomon understood that great harvests take time. They require patience. They require persistence. A farmer does not plant today expecting to harvest tomorrow. He plants knowing there is a process. Life works the same way. Those who build wealth think years ahead. Those who develop knowledge think years ahead. Those who build strong businesses think years ahead. While most people are worried about next month, the wise are building the next 10 years. And that difference in perspective changes everything. When you learn to think long-term, you stop sacrificing your future for temporary rewards. and you begin building something that is truly worth having. Advice number 7. Never stop learning. There is a form of wealth that no one can take away from you. Knowledge. Markets change. Jobs change. Technology changes. But a trained mind continues to find new paths forward. That is why Solomon declared, "Wisdom is supreme, therefore get wisdom." Proverbs 4 verse 7. Ordinary people spend money. Wise people invest in knowledge. Every book, every skill, every lesson learned, all of it accumulates. And over time, it produces extraordinary results. Many times, the opportunity you are searching for is not hidden somewhere far away. It is hidden in the next piece of knowledge you have not yet acquired. The world rewards those who continue learning, and it punishes those who believe they already know everything. Advice number 8. Protect your reputation. Some people spend their entire lives trying to build wealth, but they forget to build something even more valuable. A good name. Solomon wrote, "A good name is more desirable than great riches." Proverbs 22 verse 1. Money can be lost. Positions can be lost. But a strong reputation continues to open doors. Trust is an invisible currency, and it is incredibly valuable. People do business with those they trust. They hire those they trust. They recommend those they trust. They help those they trust. So guard your word. Keep your promises. Be a person of integrity even when no one is watching. Because a good name takes years to build, but it can be destroyed in just a few minutes. Advice number 9. Have the patience to harvest. Perhaps this is one of the hardest pieces of advice to follow, because everyone wants fast results. But Solomon reminds us that there is a time to plant and a time to harvest. He wrote, "A sluggard does not plow in season, so at harvest time he looks but finds nothing." Proverbs 20 verse 4. The harvest depends on preparation. Those who do not plant today are unlikely to reap tomorrow. The problem is that many people give up too soon. They abandon their projects. They stop investing in their education. They walk away from their goals. All because the results have not appeared yet. But almost every great achievement goes through an invisible season. A season when it seems as though nothing is happening. Keep moving forward. Keep learning. Keep building. Because what seems small today may become something extraordinary in the future. Advice number 10. Understand the true purpose of wealth. And now we arrive at the most important piece of advice of all. Because it answers a question that very few people ever ask. What is wealth actually for? Most people believe that money is the ultimate goal. But Solomon discovered something much deeper. Money is only a tool. A powerful tool. But still, just a tool. That is why he wrote, "A generous person will prosper." Proverbs 11 verse 25. The more Solomon observed life, the more he realized that true prosperity was not found merely in accumulation. It was found in using wealth wisely. In building. In helping. In creating opportunities. In leaving a legacy. Because wealth without purpose never fully satisfies. There is always another goal. Another purchase. Another pursuit. But when wealth finds meaning, something changes. It stops being just a number, and becomes a tool for transforming lives, including your own. Conclusion. More than 3,000 years have passed since Solomon wrote these teachings, and yet they continue to challenge generation after generation. Because the truth is that the principles of prosperity have never changed. Master your mind. Control your spending. Develop discipline. Choose your company wisely. Pursue excellence. Think long-term. Never stop learning. Protect your reputation. Be patient. And use wealth wisely. These may not be popular pieces of advice. They may not promise overnight results. But they are precisely the principles that have stood the test of time. And now the question is not which piece of advice was the best. The question is, which one will you start applying today? Because knowledge without action is merely information. But a single principle put into practice can completely change the course of your life. If you're not following the Disruptive Mind project, you'll probably never see us again. If you are, congratulations. It's a path of continuous growth and expanding awareness. You're growing every single day.